second leg of the Triple Crown is just days away. This is the Pollock Report News Minute Preakness Stakes edition presented by Sequel Bloodstock. Last year, Sequel's consignment at the Fasig-Tipton Mid-Atlantic 2-year-olds in training sale included future Kentucky Derby winner and current Preakness favorite Mage. We'll take a look at a couple offerings from Sequel in this year's Mid-Atlantic sale in a little bit. I'm Pollock Report Bloodstock editor Joe Nevills, and today we'll be looking at the horses that punched their tickets to the Preakness weeks and even months ago. 3 members of this year's 8-horse field earned a guaranteed spot in the race from a win-and-you're-in qualifier. Red Route 1 took the Bathhouse Row Stakes at Oaklawn Park, Perform won the Federico Tessio Stakes at Laurel Park, and Chase the Chaos won the El Camino Real Derby at Golden Gate Fields. Red Route 1 earned his stall at Pimlico after a furious stretch rally in the Bathhouse Row Stakes on April 22nd. It was a textbook run for the gun-runner colt, dropping so far back early on that the camera loses him, then making it all up after the final turn. David Fisk, the racing and bloodstock manager for owner Winchell Thoroughbred, said that watching Red Route 1 race has never stopped being an edge-of-your-seat experience.
Red Route 1's a horse that has been steadily improving. He has a running style that seems to baffle everybody. I can understand horses that come from off the pace. I don't understand why he prefers to drop back 10 lengths behind the last horse. But he just seems to like to, and he's been reasonably successful doing that. He's a horse that has been steadily getting bigger and more mature. It seems like every time I see him, he looks taller to me, and he's starting to fill out. So early on, people's assessment of gunrunner offspring were that they should get better with age, kind of like he did. And Disarm and Red Route 1 are kind of fitting that profile.
Last year's Preakness was won by Early Voting, a son of Gunrunner, the same as Red Route 1. Gunrunner raced for the Winchell operation, and they've been the biggest beneficiaries of his record start at stud. With that being said, if Red Route 1's going to win his first classic, it'll probably look different from last year's race.
The running styles of the two horses are 360 degrees opposite, and Red Route 1's going to have some pace in front of him to be at his best. We've tried different things with the horse, and he just kind of does what he wants to do, and that seems to be break with everybody and then head for the rail, save ground, and drop way back. I don't know what else I can say about him. He will give you a thrill, but he does have to have horses in front of him that are, slowing down considerably.
Let's take a break to look at one of the offerings from Sequel Bloodstock at this year's Fasig-Tipton Mid-Atlantic sale. Hip 160 is a Munnings filly who worked in 8th and 10-1 during the Undertax show. She's the first foal out of the winning Jimmy Creed mare Everyone Loves Jimmy, and she'll go through the ring Monday, May 22nd. You can go see her now at the Sequel consignment in Barn H at the Fasig-Tipton Mid-Atlantic sale in Timonium, Maryland. Perform comes to Pimlico off his ticket-punching win in the Federico Tessio Stakes on April 14th, where the Good Magic colt rallied from far back and overcame a ton of trouble in the stretch to get just up at the wire. If you've watched the race and can't believe the horse won, you're not alone. Bill Farish, who's a member of Perform's ownership group, said he was floored by the effort too.
It's funny. My son and I were watching it again this morning, and at first it was, well, maybe he'll get 4th, maybe he'll get 3rd. He might get up for 2nd, and then, oh my God, it was an amazing run he put on. And I went back to look at the time, the front end time of the race, and thinking maybe it just set up, but it really didn't. They didn't go that fast, in the first half mile. So it just was a phenomenal close that he put on, and how Fergal was able to weave his way through, I still don't know.
Kentucky Derby winner Mage might be the only horse making the turnaround from Churchill Downs to the Preakness, but we've still got a rematch brewing between him and Perform, who faced off in a Gulfstream Park maiden special weight on January 28th. Mage got the best of Perform that day, but Farish said Perform is a different horse from when they met 4 months ago.
Well, first of all, he was sprinting, and we we really kind of felt like that's what he was when we bought him out of the 2-year-old sales. Um, but I think the good magics, which we're all just learning very quickly, um, they're not the biggest horses, which ultimately could be in their favor, but they really do want to go a route of ground like the Curlins, like you expect, and this horse, once Shug figured that out and was able to get him to rate, it's just made all the difference. He has that tremendous turn of foot that we saw.
Rounding out the trio of automatic qualifiers is Chase the Chaos, who's actually the very first horse in the field to make his Preakness intentions known. The son of a Stern secured his spot in the field on February 11th in the El Camino Real Derby, and trainer Ed Moger Jr. has been training him toward the Preakness from his barn at Golden Gate Fields.
I mean, we were pointing towards the Preakness for sure. We never really locked it up until maybe a week ago. We said, we're going to do it. He had already ran, real good races in the other stakes that he ran. Didn't win, but he ran good. And then we ran him in the allowance, and he actually, it seemed like he was just getting better every week. And so he won the allowance race like very easy. And when we ran the stake, I thought he had a really good chance of winning, even though there were a couple of good shippers in that race. I really thought he was the real deal, and he ran very easy. He won easy that day. Didn't win by that far, but he won easy.
Chase the Chaos has run twice since the El Camino Real, and he finished out of the money in both starts. Moger knows his horse will be a long shot on Saturday, but from what he's seen in the mornings and what the horse has done on his best days, the trainer has a reason to believe.
I knew the race down south was a real tough race at San Felipe. I thought he'd run way better in the California Derby, but sometimes horses don't run a race. He came out of that race really good. He's been training really, really, really good. I backed off him a little bit just because the way he ran the last 2 times. He'll be a long shot, but I really think he'll have a shot in the race.
Check in through the rest of the week for more updates on the Preakness Stakes, and don't forget to swing by Barn H on the Maryland State Fairgrounds to see the offerings from Sequel Bloodstock at the Fasig-Tipton Mid-Atlantic sale. And just maybe you'll find the next mage. Before we say goodbye, let's take a look at one more horse from the Sequel consignment. Hip 82 is a first-crop World of Trouble colt who breezed in 8th and 10-3 during the Undertax show. This New York bred is out of the Malibu Moon mare Caldwell, making him a half-brother to stakes winner Kisses for Emily. He hails from the family of Rockport Harbor, Maracuja, and Appealing Tail. Go check him out at the Sequel consignment in Barn H.